What if I told you there was a monument in the middle of nowhere, etched with 10 commandments for a new world order, built by a mysterious man who vanished without a trace? No, this isn't the plot of a new blockbuster movie. This is the very real, very strange story of the Georgia Guidestones. Welcome back to Bizarre Bureau, where today we're uncovering the secrets of America's Stonehenge. Picture this. It's 1979 in Elbert County, Georgia. A well-dressed, articulate man walks into the Elberton Granite Finishing Company. He introduces himself as Robert C. Christian, but admits it's a pseudonym. He says he represents a small group of loyal Americans who want to build a monument, a massive one, to guide humanity after a future apocalyptic event. He has the plans, the money, and an unwavering vision. The local granite company, though initially skeptical, agrees to the commission. The one condition? Mr. Christian's true identity must remain a secret forever. In March 1980, the Georgia Guidestones were unveiled to a small crowd of a few hundred people. What they saw was staggering. 4 massive granite slabs, each over 19 feet tall, were arranged in a star pattern, with a central pillar and a capstone on top. The total weight? Almost 240,000 pounds of solid granite. But it wasn't just the size that was impressive. It was the message carved into the stones. Etched onto the faces of the 4 main slabs were a set of 10 guidelines or principles, written in 8 of the world's most common languages: English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. These weren't your average love thy neighbor type commandments. They were far more specific, and to many, far more unsettling. The first, and arguably most controversial guideline reads, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Let that sink in. At the time the stones were built, the world population was over 4 billion. Today, it's over 8 billion. To get to 500 million would require a reduction of over 90% of the world's population. This single line has fueled countless theories about a secret cabal planning a mass depopulation event. The other guidelines are just as thought-provoking. Guide reproduction, wisely improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. It sounds like a blueprint for a new civilization, one built on principles of logic, environmentalism, and global governance. The final commandment is a simple yet ominous plea. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature, leave room for nature. Beyond the 10 commandments, the monument was a complex astronomical calendar. A hole drilled through the center stone aligned with the North Star. A slot cut into the capstone marked the passage of the sun at noon throughout the year, indicating the day. It was a modern-day Stonehenge, a tool for future survivors to reestablish time and celestial navigation. So, who was R.C. Christian? For decades, his identity was one of the biggest mysteries in America. The only person who knew the secret was the local banker Wyatt Martin, who handled the financial transactions for the project and signed a non-disclosure agreement, vowing to take the secret to his grave. And he did. All we know is that the name R.C. Christian was chosen as a nod to Christian Rosencreutz, the legendary founder of the Rosicrucian Order, a philosophical secret society. This air of mystery, combined with the strange guidelines, made the Guidestones a magnet for curiosity and controversy. Tourists flocked to see them. Researchers tried to decipher their meaning. And for some, they became a symbol of something sinister. Various groups labeled the monument as satanic, pagan, or the work of a New World Order elite. They saw the call for population control and a single world language as proof of a dark agenda to strip away individual freedoms and national sovereignty. The stones were repeatedly vandalized over the years with graffiti proclaiming messages like, "Death to the New World Order." The theories were wild and varied. Some believed it was the work of the Rosicrucians, as the pseudonym suggested. Others pointed to Ted Turner, the media mogul and landowner in the area, who had publicly expressed concerns about overpopulation. Of course, no concrete evidence ever linked him or any other specific group to the monument. The secret of R.C. Christian was kept perfectly. For over 4 decades, the Guidestones stood silently in that Georgian field, a constant source of debate. A message of hope for a better future? Or a warning of a controlled, dystopian one? The answer depended entirely on who you asked. The monument asked us to seek harmony with the infinite, but instead, it often created division and suspicion. And then, just as mysteriously as they appeared, they were gone. In the early morning hours of July 6, 2022, a powerful explosion rocked the quiet countryside. Surveillance footage captured an unknown individual planting an explosive device at the base of the monument. The blast destroyed one of the main granite slabs and severely damaged the capstone. The remaining structure was deemed unsafe by local authorities, and for safety reasons, the entire monument was demolished later that same day. The destruction of the Georgia Guidestones didn't end the mystery. It only deepened it. Who would want to blow up the monument? Was it an act of protest by someone who saw the stones as a symbol of evil? Was it a random act of vandalism? Or, as some more imaginative theories suggest, did the monument's creators themselves destroy it, signaling that its time, or perhaps our time, was up? The investigation into the bombing is still ongoing, and like the identity of R.C. Christian, the culprit remains a mystery. The granite has been turned to rubble, but the message and the questions it raises live on. What are we to make of the Georgia Guidestones? Were they a well-intentioned but misguided attempt to offer wisdom to a post-apocalyptic world? Or were they a declaration of intent from a shadowy group aiming to reshape humanity according to their own design? The Guidestones force us to confront some of the biggest questions of our time: humanity's place in nature, the balance between individual freedom and collective good, and what kind of future we want to build. The 10 guidelines, whether you see them as wise or wicked, are a catalyst for conversation. They push us to think critically about our world and our role within it. Perhaps that was the true purpose of the monument all along. Maybe R.C. Christian and his group didn't want to dictate the future, but rather to make us think about it. The stones may be gone, but their legacy is etched into our collective curiosity. They remain a bizarre, unsolved puzzle, a testament to the power of a good mystery, and a stone-cold reminder that some secrets are meant to endure long after the evidence has turned to dust. What do you think? Were the Guidestones a beacon of hope or a harbinger of doom? Let me know your theories down in the comments. We love diving into these strange stories, and there are plenty more where this came from. Thanks for joining us at Bizarre Bureau. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next investigation. Stay curious, and see you next time.